Hello everyone, Minute Plus Meditation here, Friday, May the 5th. From the Acts of the Apostles, when Paul and his companion reached Antioch, they went to the synagogue, which was his custom. Paul was invited to address the people, so he stood up and began to speak, and he does it again. There's always little differences or twists, little new things that we hear as he goes from synagogue to synagogue or place to place and goes into the synagogues. So basically, and what is captured for us in this particular reading is just a snippet of this first reading. Because the residents of Jerusalem and their leaders did not recognize Jesus or understand the words of the prophets that were read every Sabbath, they fulfilled those words by condemning him, even though they found no cause for a sentence of death. And that's really the abomination. They asked Pilate to have him killed. When they had carried out everything that was written about him, they took him down from the tree and laid him in a tomb. But God raised him from the dead. It's always the resurrection, right? It's not just the recounting of this story, but it's the resurrection. That changes everything. So there's many things we can extrapolate or draw from this, but one of the things, and it's going to happen again and again, is the fidelity of Paul and his perseverance in preaching this message. And it seems like he's not unaware of, but he's oblivious to the outcome, like the outcome meaning the resistance or pushback that he knows he's going to get. He had to know he's going to get this because he knew his own people, right? He knew he was going to get pushback, but he just went in and he was faithful to what Jesus wanted him to do. And that's the same kind of attitude or heart that you and I need to have as disciples, as hopefully engaged disciples of the Lord Jesus. Maybe we're aware that we're in an environment that is hostile to Catholicism, Christianity, but we need to be faithful to our commission, because you have a commission, I have a commission. Maybe it's in different ways a little bit, but essentially we are called to witness to Christ in our own ways. And not just some in so oblique way that nobody knows what we're talking about, but actually witness to Christ, and the fact that this makes a difference, he makes a difference in my life. And that's just so important to always be aware of. And that's why we need ongoing formation, reading the scriptures, even the Catechism of the Catholic Church. Use Father Mike Schmidt's Catechism in here to help form you in the Catechism of the Church. Okay, over to John, the Gospel, John chapter 14. Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from the world and go to the Father. So he says to them, he knows that they are sensing a foreboding, something is not going to go well. They don't really know what it is, and they don't want to pay too much attention to it. He says, do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. And Thomas wants to know where he's going. And Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. We read part of this a couple of days ago. So he knows that they sense something. They really don't want to hear it, as I mentioned a few seconds ago. But he will not let up. They must face this. And he has come here, as Bishop Sheen used to say, Archbishop Sheen used to say, you and I come into the world, and the life instinct is the last one to go, right? We cling to life because because God has made us to live. Jesus, he said, came into the world for one purpose, and that was to die. Only Jesus came into the world to die. That was because that was the Father's will, not because death is good in and of itself, but because by his death and of course his resurrection, he would purchase for us eternal salvation. All we have to do now is freely consent to it. Doesn't matter if you're baptized or not. At some point you have to freely consent. Once you gain reason and the ability to choose and know what you're choosing, then each one of us at some point has to make that assent of faith. Not because my parents did it for me, but because I am responding to the gift given to me by God, that Jesus is the Son of the living God. He's the only one who can die. He's the only one who can redeem me from my sins. And so, on this day, we all have to, excuse me, part of Jesus' mission was to die for us. So we have to be willing to die to ourselves, even before our physical death, to actually die to ourselves and give ourselves over to him. And when all is said and done, he's the only one worthy of this. God bless you.